Oh, man, I can't wait. Let's go. You thought you were gonna hide, bro? Let's go. Alrighty, guys. I've got another build video for y'all. This is going to be the Lifetaker bow meta build, or as I like to call it, the meta bow. So starting off, we've got the Gorgon's Tusks light helmet with hasted shuriken heals and slash conditioning. This is going to be a 5-piece shuriken heals build. I always like having hasted vigor on at least one piece. Run this perk on almost all my builds. It is so nice. It reduces the potency of incoming dots by 7% per armor piece. And then of course it gives you 10% haste for 5 seconds as well. Now I've got 2 pieces of hasted, and I mean, it is really nice. You could go ahead and do the same, because this will nullify sustained infliction, because this is 14%. So just any way we can reduce the dots as much as possible is very important. It is very prevalent in today's meta, so keep that in mind. But one weapon perk that is a must-have for this build is slowing tether. Slowing tether, it makes your tether inflict a slow on hit, reducing the target's movement speed by 32% for 3 seconds. And now it also inflicts disintegrate on application, so it's applying that 10% rend, as well as slowing our target to make sure they don't run away from us, and also makes them a more easier target for us to hit. Like, I like gloves with shuriken heals slash conditioning and health, just another piece to give us some more mitigation against those hatchet players, great sword, you name it. All the slash weapons, slash conditioning is very, very nice to run. I've got light pants with shuriken heals, shuriken energy, and penetrating rapid shot. Now, I think having shuriken energy for a bow build is a must-have perk as well, so that we are able to dodge quite a bit and get some stamina back. Now, keep in mind, it does have a 6-second cooldown, but that also is right around the same cooldown for shuriken heals. So if you're able to time that well, you'll have very good understanding of when you're getting that 16 stamina back. And another must-have perk, I'm telling you, penetrating rapid shot. Since we're running rapid shot as one of our abilities, this will boost the damage a lot, because it penetrates the armor by 22% for all rapid shot attacks. It is really nice and very strong. Now for our armor artifact, we are running the tumbler feet wraps. Now you could run featherweight for a little more mitigation if you find yourself dying more and not able to sustain as well. Give that a try. But for the gear that I have, I wanted to be able to use all those weapon perks, as well as when we get to our attributes. Keep this in mind that you need at least 8 pieces of 725 gear score to be able to hit this attribute threshold. But I will get to that when we get to the attributes. The Tumbler's Feet Wraps, its intrinsic perk, Shirking Blessings. Successfully dodging an attack gives you 15% in power and 25% fortified for 5 seconds. You're also healed for 200 plus 2% of your max HP. It's got a 1-second cooldown. Since we will be dodging a lot, we will be keeping that uptime not only on our empower from the bow, but also from Tumbler's Feet Wraps. And of course, it's got refreshing physical aversion, and then we went ahead and put shuriken heals on this artifact. And for our bow, we're rocking the Hoplite bow. This is such a perfect fit for this build. You can acquire this bow from the Hive of Gorgons raid. It comes with Disdain Infliction and Keenly and Jagged. Disdain Infliction, the potency of outgoing dots are increased by 15%. Hitting a target inflicted by your dots will extend the duration of them by 5%. So all the dots that we will be applying from our Void Gauntlet, as well as our bleed from a Keenly Jagged, is going to be increased from this perk. So not only are we going to be able to be doing a lot of damage, but also a lot of dot damage. And then I went ahead and put Abyssal Attunement on this bow to really stack into our void damage. And of course, I added a split gem for the bow to also stack into that void damage. Now, this artifact doesn't need any introduction. Lifetaker, guys, this is the go-to void gauntlet for so many builds. That's why I've dubbed this as the meta bow, just from running this artifact. It is so strong, and the reason it's so strong is because of its intrinsic perk. Negative energy. Your ranged attacks inflict disintegrate for 8 seconds on both weapons. 1 second cooldown. And if your dexterity attribute is high, replace your base weapon scaling with dexterity. So, oh man, it's crazy. Just that intrinsic perk, it makes this artifact shine with ranged weapons, because that is one thing that makes a build strong, is if both weapons have similar scaling, so you're able to do as much damage as possible. Now, it comes with Keen, Life Stealing, Refreshing Move, and then I went ahead and put Putrefying Scream to give us a lot of anti-heal just from this one weapon perk. Petrifying Scream inflicts disease on hit, reducing the target's incoming healing by 43% and outgoing healing by 21% for 8 seconds. That is very strong. And then on top of our dots, we will be applying to the enemy as well to lower their healing output as much as possible, especially in this meta where a lot of people are running with healers. So to be able to win those outnumbered fights that have healers, you'll be able to do so with this setup. Now, to give us some more survivability and mitigation, on top of healing as well, we are rocking Stalwart Stone Form. It gives us that mending form. I run this on all my builds. You heal for 75% of your heart rune damage per second while active, and it reduces outgoing damage by 20%. And you also get Fortify on activation, increasing your armor by 10% per 5 seconds. Now, for our amulet, rocking the Hoplite amulet. I've really been liking this amulet. I've been putting it on all my builds now, and just from that one perk, Unimpeded, potency of slows on you are reduced by 30% as long as you have not been exhausted within the last 10 seconds. Now, this is very, very nice to run when you're in light equip load, because you are going to be more prone to slows. They're going to be a lot more potent. And with the amount of slows out there that people are running in their toolkit, I honestly think this is a must-have perk. But like I always say, guys, this is a template to build around. Tune it to your liking. You know, what works for me may not work for you. And this is solely an outnumbered PvP solo build to have that high sustain and survivability, as well as being able to turn on our enemy and flip the fight on them to come out on top. And to give us some more sustain, I have Leeching on the ring. Now, of course, our void damage and party. Now, this void damage bonus that we get from our ring will also buff our attunement on the bow. Since it is an abyssal attunement, it works alongside each other to give us as much damage output as possible. And then for our earring, we've got Healthy Toast, Healing Heart, and Regenerating. Healing Heart is so nice. It's another form of healing for us, and it's a great burst heal. We are going to be regenerating our heart rune quite a bit because the amount of dots we will be putting out, as well as the damage. So we will constantly get our heart rune back, giving us another option for healing. It's just a great burst heal on top of our healthy toast as another option for healing. Just a lot of sustain with this build and with all my builds that I make. That is the whole point, is to be able to self-sustain and to be able to win these fights. As far as our resistances go, I'm rocking 10% slash damage resist, 5% strike, 20% thrust, 10% standard damage, that is your bleed resistance, and then 12% elemental across the board. And now that is with 2 onyxes, 1 moonstone, and 5 opals. Now if you were to fully stack into the void damage, you could run 5 rune glasses as well. It will bring your resistances down a little bit, but you'll also be putting out much more damage. That extra 10% from those rune glasses will make a difference. I felt like you didn't need to do that. It is a big investment because of how pricey the void rune glasses are at the moment, but if you want to do that, feel free to do so, and let me know in the comments how that worked out for you. I bet the damage is really nice, so I'm always curious for what you guys do to change up the build from what I'm running at the moment. Now for our attributes, I've got 50 strength, 350 dex, 100 intelligence to give us that 10% base damage to our light and heavy elemental attacks, and then put the rest into con to give us 156 constitution. Now, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, you do need at least 8 pieces of 725 gear score to hit this threshold of attributes. Now, if you're not able to do that, that is fine. Just make sure you have at least 25 strength to give you that light attack damage. You don't have to go 50 strength, but I went 50 strength to give us an extra 10% on our heavy attacks that we sometimes do. I don't always get, heavy attacks in, but just to give us a little bit more damage, you could drop that and then put the rest in a constitution. But having that 350 dex and that 100 intelligence is the most important for this build. And then as far as our skill tree goes for the bow, be sure to pause the video or take a screenshot. This is what I'm running for the meta bow build. What's most important is being able to have this ultimate evasive tactics, gain in power and deal 15% more damage for 5 seconds after dodging. Being able to keep this empower up as much as possible is very important for our damage output. And then the one passive I do run for this build, I really like it. You don't have to run it, but a lot of times I'm finding myself fighting 3 or more people. So if you're surrounded by 3 or more foes within 3 meters, so they have to be pretty close, but a lot of times people do crash and try to surround you. So being able to get that 20% haste is really nice for any time they get really close. Just being able to move quickly and freely as possible, I think, is the difference, between life and death, especially when fighting outnumbered. And then with our Void Gauntlet skill tree, again, be sure to pause the video or take a screenshot. This is what I'm running for this build. I think this setup covers all of the great passives that Void Gauntlet has in its toolkit. It is absolutely insane. Like, definitely one of the strongest weapons in the game at the moment. And now some tips I could give you guys while running this build. I like to try to be able to get within range of my opponent so I can be able to hit them with that tether to then detonate the orb and hit them with the scream, switch weapons, and hit them with an explode shot just to line that up. Or another good combo that I like to do is you hit them with the evade shot into the explode shot. Just a great lineup for our explode shot. And a lot of times with rapid shot, it's going to keep you in place. Now the third and final shots in that ability will be a bit of a wind up. So what you can do is hit them with a 1-2 and then roll to cancel the animation. because the first 2 shots are very quick. So just to get in those quick 2 shots and then cancel out the animation, I think is a really nice way to keep yourself from being an easy target due to the ability keeping you in place. All in all, guys, this build is a ton of fun. I've been enjoying bow quite a bit, and I'm still new to it, but I make it work. If you made it this far in the video, thank y'all so much for watching. Guys, we are so close to 1,000 subs in the making of this video. I can't thank y'all enough. If you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video if you enjoyed. There will be more builds like this coming in the future. I've been posting every Sunday for the remainder of season 7. Now season 8 is around the corner. Guys, we got about a week left. And as always, guys, I'll catch y'all in the next one.